So, as all of you know, I have a lovely, fantastic editor, friend, and content manager named Cherry Bread TV over on Twitter, who also happens to be an epic memer, if you will, a lay epic memer. One of the lay epic memes that me and Cherry like to joke about is that the trans community online, particularly on 4chan, is really like toxic, gatekeepy, and they've developed a lot of really weird slang and lingo meant to put down other trans people. And we make fun of that a lot. And, you know, the other night, I was chilling, you know, vibing in a call with Cherry on Discord. And Cherry says, I found this copy pasta about True Scum, or like a True Scum parodying like satire copy pasta. I want to tweet it, but I'm afraid it might get canceled. And I said, well, you'll probably get canceled, but, you know, that's an inevitability. It's funny. You should just tweet it. So Cherry did that. And the tweet says the following. I'm going to try not to fuck it up. Boy motor femboys who take estrogen are more trans than passoids who don't take any kind of HRT and are more true trans than non-binary Hans who go by binary pronouns as well as pre-transition egg femboys. First try. First fucking try. First try. Now, it ended up, you know, getting a fair amount of likes, like 800 likes and whatnot. You know, good amount of attention, you know? And then, my editor truly made it. When post to show to a small Victorian child, I know, these gimmick accounts are fucking nuts, aren't they? Decided to post it, and it got a lot of more attention. That attention also entailed a small cancellation. Now, as much as I would love to show you guys some examples of the absolute fucking batshit types of responses Cherry has been getting because, or in tweets and whatnot that Cherry's been getting because of this joke tweet, I'll paraphrase a few, but I've been blocking them because I just know they're going to be trouble for me in the future, and I try to avoid it on Twitter. They've been saying things like, can you really say these words like Han and femboy when you're not trans femme? Cherry is trans femme, it just doesn't have any indicators in their bio, so nice assumption, I guess. Just the most wild fucking shit. So eventually Cherry had to, you know, give a bit of a reply, give a little bit of a response. Bit of a response to all of this wildness, all of this absolute fucking bullshit. It goes as follows. In this tweet, I drop a FB bomb. For those of you guys that don't know, the people canceling Cherry have been claiming that femboy is a slur. In this tweet, I drop a FB bomb. Femboy, a big one. Hard Y. I did this to show my interlocutors that their language doesn't impress me, that their slurs don't frighten or disarm me. You can see from their reactions that it worked. They were clearly taken aback. Hypers, if you got the reference. For those of you guys that don't know, back when Vosh used the tactical N-word in the top comment of that video, he said that, basically, but, you know, switch around a few words. Very old meme. Old meme. Very good meme, though. Yes, Cherry has gotten their first cancellation, and obviously I want all of you to go send support to Cherry. Go follow them on Twitter, go subscribe, go send support, obviously. That goes without saying. But what I also want to say is, isn't it kind of pathetic that it is predictable, almost like the tides, that saying a completely innocent, innocuous joke like that, hell, having it come from a trans femme person. Luna, it's okay. Chill out, Luna. It's okay. I'll show you to stream. I'll show you to stream soon. Don't worry. So, isn't it kind of pathetic that it's like predictable at this point, like the tides, that like a completely innocuous, harmless joke coming from a trans femme who just doesn't have any indicators of it in their bio can be absolutely fucking dogpiled with a cancellation by the online left? It happened to PhilosophyTube too. Remember, like a month before PhilosophyTube came out as trans, PhilosophyTube quote tweeted like a tweet by a news outlet that had said Trump was preparing for like the transition to Biden's administration, and then PhilosophyTube said, oh, I wish her luck on her transition, and she got canceled, and everyone was like, you're not trans, you can't say this, and then she came out as trans a month later, and had been like secretly transitioning for like a year beforehand. Like, that's hilarious timing. It's not hilarious timing, it's fucking pathetic, and it's indicative of the fact that this stuff happens constantly, and the left never fucking learns. The trans community, the LGBT, I'm saying this on day one of Pride Month, okay? Listen, you guys remember that rant, the Thought Slime meltdown rant that got Vosh like super mega canceled back in the day? There was some grains of truth to some of the things he said in that rant. The LGBT community online, due to factors that are probably deserving of their own discussions, and I'll probably get into on their own, are very toxic and extremely abusive. They are. And I'm not going to pretend like I know why that is. All I know is that just the case. My main theory is that most people in these communities are themselves the victims of abuse and are themselves subjects to discrimination and all sorts of isms and ists that probably cause them to be in situations that are going to be less likely to be, you know, happy, fruitful lives. And that usually tends to lead to people being abusive and miserable. And I think those are the issues that we need to solve in order to, like, prevent miserable people on the internet from engaging this type of toxicity. I think like a really good way to solve the Wokescold problem, quote unquote, would probably be to, like, help spread awareness about LGBT people to help make it so that there are less homophobic and transphobic parents out there. That's a big part of it. Do you think if most of the Wokescolds on Twitter had, like, more accepting parents, that they would be out there calling Vosh racist or transphobic on Twitter? No, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be. If they had accepting parents, they wouldn't be on Twitter calling Vosh racist. Like, there are root issues here that we as left-wing political figures and activists can go after that will solve these problems. The Wokescold problem for a long time was this very, like, frustrating thing for me because it just upset me, right? Because I was constantly the subject of this cancel bullshit, right? But eventually you learn to turn it into content and not let it bother you as much. But then you start to look at it from a completely different view. And now I'm starting to see it as hordes upon hordes upon hordes of young LGBT youth who probably have extremely shitty home lives, whose only solace is found on the internet. These communities on Tumblr and Discord and Twitter, they're lonely and miserable. That loneliness and misery has, you know, they're taking it out on people on the internet that they view to be less morally and politically pure than them. And it's resulting in them just being abusive pieces of shit and using their being gay or being left-wing as a defense. And it's a big problem. And the fact that it's so predictable, and the fact that I've been so fucking good at predicting it, I feel like should lend a little bit of credence to my position here, no? Anyway, go send support to my editor, and if you know somebody who it tends to, you know, listen, all right? You know how I like to tell you guys that if you think somebody that you know, like a friend or a family member, might be being radicalized by the right, you know, they're a white, they're a straight, they're a gamer bro, they like edgy humor, they feel politically disenfranchised, do you think this person might be a target for political radicalization by the right? In the same way, I recommend that if you know anybody in your life that's, like, young, impressionable, LGBT, and doesn't really have a good home life and finds that most of their only support, both emotionally and possibly even financially, is with people on the internet, keep an eye on those friends, especially if it gets to the point of them having financial reliance with people on the internet. Because I don't know if you guys remember, I'm going to use one example here. I could list a lot more, but I'm going to use one example. There was this Wokescold trans streamer that I used to get into a fair amount of drama with on Twitter. She would constantly accuse me of being transphobic, racist, etc. I ended up debating her and blowing her the fuck out. I blew her out so much that Destiny reacted to my debate with her on stream, and Destiny's chat spammed the what's it called? The Godsony emote when I was going off on her. So I think I did pretty good. And his community doesn't often think that I do well in debates, so I hold that one close to my chest. You know, she was very, like, much hated me a lot, accused me of transphobia, racism, stuff like that on Twitter. We ended up debating, blew her the fuck out. And I said on stream, I fucking guarantee that Izzy Bear will be outed as an abuser. About a year later, if not less, all of her roommates come out and expose her. As it turned out, she was living with a bunch of other, you know, LGBT people with, you know, various mental conditions that made it so that they need to live in a house full of people. that were all living as roommates. Turned out she was like the head of the house, so to say, and she was taking all of their money and spending it on chicken wings, ATVs, and cigarettes instead of fixing like their AC and heating, paying the bills, and like spending the money on what it was actually supposed to be spent on, which is like, you know, keeping the place up. And then when they would like say, hey, give us our money back or pay the bills so the electricity is on, she would freak out and say, You're abusing me. My PTSD is flaring up. I'm triggered right now. You need to leave me alone. This is ableist. She'd accuse them of ableism anytime they'd confront her about the money issues. Why is it that I'm always able to predict this kind of shit? Why is it so fucking predictable? I don't know. With all that said, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this segment, if you did, please consider leaving a like, whether you're watching it live as I'm streaming it, or if you're watching it after the fact when it's gone up as a video. If you want to see more from me here on YouTube, please consider subscribing and ring the bell icon so YouTube actually tells you when I upload or go live or do anything here on the platform. And of course, if you want to see more from me just on the internet in general, all my social media is linked down below. Consider following it. I really do appreciate it. With all that said, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a good one.